Hello again. Wanted to talk shortly about Revelation chapter 12, and we've talked in other videos about this being the revelation of Jesus Christ and about his spiritual accomplishments, the things that transpired as a result of Jesus coming. So the revelation of Jesus Christ is the manifestation of his spiritual accomplishments. And whether that's the New Jerusalem being the church, or the Whore of Babylon, Mystery Babylon the Great, Old Testament apostate Jerusalem that culminated her judgment at the time of Christ and the cross, or whether that's the Gentiles grafted in Revelation 7, or whether it's chapter 5 where we see this right after the resurrection, where he receives all power, honor, and glory, which can be supported from the Gospels of the New Testament. So what is going on here? We see a woman clothed with the sun, with the moon under her feet, and 12 stars about her head, and this seems to be Israel. Futurists, I believe, think that this is Israel. They would say this is physical Israel now. We see this as spiritual Israel at the time of Christ and when he was on earth 2,000 years ago. And we see this dragon standing there. She labors in birth, and she travails, and she brings forth a man-child that is to rule all nations with a rod of iron. From other passages, we can easily support that this is Jesus, this is Christ. And we see this dragon, who later says, the scripture tells us later in this chapter, is that old serpent, is the devil. So Satan is there before her and waiting to devour this child. Jesus, the Messiah, is baptized. Again, that's when his ministry begins, when he goes to the mountain and fasts for 40 days and is tempted of Satan, and then he comes off of the mountain and he is tempted further and by the three temptations, and he quotes scripture, and of course he does not succumb and is sinless. And Satan, we see, is cast out of heaven. That is not God's heaven per se. We sit in heavenly places, and so when I think of heaven, I think in many times the way where we're at right now and what Christ has done for the church, and why nothing enters into the New Jerusalem that can defile it. So, but and they overcame him by the blood of the Lamb and by the word of their testimony. So when I see this, I see Jesus being baptized. I see that's when he's caught up to heaven. I see him having war with Satan. You can read in the Gospels where angels come and minister unto Jesus afterwards. And I don't believe this battle is with thunderbolts or certainly no power to come against God in the real sense of a battle. He is omnipotent. So to understand that, I see that as Jesus, this battle happening spiritually on earth, and I see Satan being overcome, and then he wants to make war with the saints, which he does. Hence, we see this beast rising up out of the sea in Revelation chapter 13. So that's just a quick overview. I didn't want this to be a lengthy video. Let me know your comments. Again, you can go over to Bibleknowledgeonline.com and look at some of our other videos. All we seek, again, is the truth. We're certainly wanting to get your opinion on what some of these things might mean to you. And if each of us, I firmly believe, seek the truth more than we seek to be right, we can find the truth. And from our other videos, we certainly feel very strongly about the timing of Revelation, about its general overall perspective, and about the revelation of Jesus Christ and his spiritual accomplishments and achievements, and God's putting us back in the garden through the manifestation of Christ. And we can read all about that in the Old Testament and the unfolding of Revelation, which is to be understood just from the Bible, not any current events, not any futuristic interpretation. If you are watching this and you believe in a tribulation and Antichrist and the abomination of desolation and all the rest of it that's been taught for so many years, please go over to the website and watch some of the other videos, and then look at the hard evidence of what the Bible actually says in its context, because it's really not meant to be hard to understand. It is very straightforward in its truths. So God bless until next time.